What's up, guys? Welcome back for another one. We're here with another install back on the Street Bob. We are going to attempt to install dual disc on the Street Bob. And if you haven't been following the channel, on my Street Bob, I have a Lowrider S front end that I purchased, Lowrider S wheels. I have the Galfer oversized rotor. So really all I was missing is what you see here on the table here. An extra brake caliper I got used on eBay. I bought this master cylinder on eBay. This is supposedly off a Lowrider S. I've heard conflicting reports about whether the Street Bob and the Softails that have dual disc have different size master cylinders. I've had people at the dealership told me both ways. So just in case, I'm trusting the seller here on eBay that this is indeed off a Lowrider S. But we'll see, and we'll see if it matters. Along with that, for the oversized brake rotor on the side that's not installed yet, this is the OG Moto oversized brake rotor kit, and it pushes back the caliper so it fits on the bigger rotor. Along with that, the Galliford sintered brake pads for this caliper, and this cable line kit from cablekits.com. The paperwork says it's a collab with Dominator, so that's what it is. And when I got this, it's because at first I bought the Harley stuff. And then I realized I was purchasing ABS lines. And this is not an ABS bike. So the difference is on this block here, the ABS one from Harley has holes for the ABS module lines. So thank God I bought this ahead of time. Along with that, since this is going to be a whole new line kit, because essentially what I'm doing is I'm going to pull off the master cylinder and I'm going to unplug that screw from under the lower triple tree and just pull the line off the existing brake caliper and just let that bleed off to the side. All of this stuff is going to go on independently of that stuff. And then using my Harley .4 brake fluid, I'm going to use my TRT needle to reverse bleed the brake from the caliper line. And that's going to be easier to push all the air out and fill up the master cylinder. So that's the plan. Let's go over to the bike and fuck shit up. All right, first things first, we're going to disassemble this whole thing. I'm going to move this over to the new master cylinder because this is all a single piece here. So real easy, just take your mirrors off, hand guards if you got them. And then take the control housing off so you can drop this. Actually, just going to put that right there. Good idea to have a tank cover. I got one of these Saddleman ones. Should have got it a long time ago. But you can strap your bars in here and stuff like that if you're doing bar swaps. Real convenient. Protects your tank. Looks like I can just leave that, which makes it even better. Let's go to the bolt under the triple tree and remove that. T27. Here is the bracket for the big brake rotor. You're going to put the threaded side behind the fork and use these bolts here with a little blue Loctite. Torque them down to 30 foot-pounds.
Now you take caliper, fit it over the rotor behind the bracket as well. And in case you were wondering, since we're adding a new rotor and a new set of pads, dual disc, they recommend you change all 4 brake pads at the same time so everything wears evenly. So that's what we're doing on this side. Okay, let's talk about the new brake cables. So I mentioned this before. If you look at all 3 hose at the end, one of them is visibly bigger than the other 2. That's going to go to your master cylinder. And you also want to make sure the wording here, cablekits.com, is facing upright. When you install this, there is a recessed hole for the little bolt that goes in there and holds it to the bottom of the triple tree. So you want to give it a little dab of blue Loctite, slide the bolt in there, make sure master cylinder cable and the brake cables go behind the forks, so probably better this way. Okay, and now you connect your cables to the brake calipers and up to the master cylinder. So now on the brake line, basically going to put a washer on either side of the hole. And then on this one, the new one, I gotta pull this little plug out. And do the same thing. Washer over the bolt. And the brake line. And the other washer on the other side. before we can start bleeding the brakes, we need to seat the brake lines here, and I believe these are all flare nuts, so there's no Teflon tape or Loctite or anything like that necessary. What you do have to do though is snug it down, back it off about a half, and then snug it down again, and you do that a couple of times to properly seat the flare nut. I know it's harder when it's here, but I wanted to make sure the brake lines, you know, all had the flexibility and they were straight before I tightened these down. So that's why I did it that way. That's why I connected the other ones and then connected the block itself to the lower triple tree. That's just me thinking. I mean, I don't know if that's the best way, but it just makes the most sense to me. So I'm using a number 10, and I'm just going to tighten these down here. Very important you keep the line straight. Snug. I'm gonna back it out, snug it again. They say each time it's supposed to go a little further. Back it out, snug it again, back it out. Snug it one more time. So I wanted to give you guys an update. I've been having trouble building pressure on this master cylinder, so I suspected that I had the wrong one. And I just want to show you guys a few things here. This is the stock one that initially came off. It says 1/2 inch right here, if you could see that. Then I took a look at the one that I bought on eBay that was supposed to come off. And that too also said 1/2 inch. So I bought one from Harley directly, specifically for the Lowrider S, only because that has dual disc here, and this one says 5/8. So I'm hoping that's the bore size, and I'm hoping when I put this guy on, I'll build the pressure that I need, because there was no air in the lines or anything like that. So it was the only thing I could think of. So we're going to swap this out and try to bleed the brakes again. All right, so I got it all back together. I got the right master cylinder. I got the right banjo bolt. Let's talk about that for a minute. So when I bought the original banjo bolt, they sold me the 10mm. And while that worked on the master cylinder that I got off of eBay, that master cylinder was obviously not the right size. So when I swapped it out with a brand new one from Harley Davidson, it turns out the banjo bolt was too small, so I ordered this 12mm banjo bolt, and that fit perfectly. So bled the brakes, got good brake pressure. I'm gonna take it out for a spin and I'll let you know. All right guys, so dual disc complete, been taking her out. She's been riding great so far. I love how it looks. No problems with leaks with the cablekits.com set. I like how it looks factory. But yeah, good things coming for this bike, man. We're not done yet. You can see I've got the Leather Pro Retro Brags, testing that out. So look for a review to drop on that soon. But other than that, that's all I got. So you know what time it is. If you like videos like this, consider liking and subscribing. Stay safe out there. and I'll catch you on the next one.